Good afternoon and welcome to Carthage basketball. We've got a fun afternoon planned for this double header on a Saturday in January here. Our first matchup will be the Elmhurst Blue Jays versus the Carthage Firebirds in a women's contest. Let's take a look at the season stats for the offense for both of these teams. What you'll see, Carthage firing out ahead in the fourth ranked offense right now, and they'll go against a Blue Jays offense who likes to shoot the three, not always on point, where they suffer as actually the last three-point shooting percentage in the conference. And the two defense against, we have the Firebirds ranking the first place defense in conference, and they'll be going against the Blue Jays, who are last in conference. These two teams both coming off wins on Wednesday. Elmhurst picked up their second conference win when they beat North Park University. That was their second victory against the Vikings. And Carthage, with a big win on Wednesday, they took care of North Central. So both teams taking care of the two North CCIW opponents. So we'll see how the two teams match up. Let's take a look at who the Blue Jays will be working through. The leading scorer for the team is Shanice McQuay, and she fills up the stat sheet with all of her contributions. She leads the team in rebounds. She leads the team in average and second on the team in steals. Alongside her with 55 steals on the season is Tyresha Sessions. So the defense might not be best in terms of scoring against, but they do have active hands and like to get steals generated. And I'm now joined here with my partner Pete, who just got done talking with Coach.
She said more than she has all season. I'm sorry about that, Eric. You know, you take advantage of when Coach is in a talkative mood. 2 goals, less than 15 rebounds, and over 10 offensive rebounds. That's what they want to have today.
Focusing on rebounds. So when we look at Carthage, last game out, it was the same as usual for their offensive output, leaning on Morrissey and Lauren Knight. So that's kind of been the game plan all season. What do you look for out of the offense tonight here from Carthage?
Well, one thing she definitely wanted to say, and that's why I joked she was all smiles, is not only coming off the victory versus North Central, she said we needed it. She said we cannot overlook Elmhurst. They're a good team. They get 21-plus rebounds a game. And so offensively, we got to make our first shots, and we got to follow up. We got to get the 10-plus rebounds offensively. And so not just effective scoring, effective shooting, but she said we told the team if at halftime we have 6 offensive rebounds and we get 6 more and match it exactly in the second half, hey, that's 12. That's more than 10. I was told there'd be no math. But point is, that's their goal for the week. They want to make sure they get that, and they want to make sure they limit Elmhurst because, yes, Elmhurst's shooting percentage isn't as good as one may expect. But if that changes today, this afternoon, it's a whole different world. As you look at the first meeting, sure, it was 80-56, but there's still good offensive shooting, as you see by the likes of Bakata, as well as Shanice doing an outstanding job, lights out on the offensive side of things, McQuay. So, needless to say, Carthage, a lot on the line, they want to keep momentum going. They want to stay in that middle of the pack, stay in that top 6, try to make a run. And the other thing Coach Jones said as well, she goes, look, today is the beginning of season number 3. She said, I felt that we had our first half of the season, then we had the second half, which ended this past Wednesday right after, the holiday break. And today's season number 3 starting. She goes, and it's, win on out the rest of the way. So all smiles that the team is healthy, everybody's good to go, and the rotation will be ready to go. So we'll take a timeout now, Eric. Again, appreciate you starting things off for us here in the booth. I looked up at the clock. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to take advantage of everything Coach Jones has to say in this circumstance. We're going to take a timeout, national anthem. When we come back, starting lineup and more on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.
as a gift to the college from his parents. In remembering Captain Diamond, we pay tribute to all who have sacrificed their lives for our country, and honor those who today put themselves in harm's way in service to America. At this time, we ask that you please rise to the table and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. The visiting Blue Jays of Elmhurst. A 5'2" junior from Vancouver, Washington, number 1, Ronan Cusack. A 5'11" junior from Barstow, California, number 5, Tyrese Sessions. A 5'7" freshman from Valparaiso, Indiana, number 10, Kristen Ducat. A 5'6" senior from West Indiana, Illinois, number 11, Nate Schmidt. A 5'11" sophomore from St. John, Indiana, number 24, Anna Kozinski. The head coach of the Blue Jays is Jason Pruitt. He's assisted by Cameron Mitchell and Kristen Zella. All right, Pirate fans, it's showtime! Tick, tick, boom.
And welcome one, welcome all to Tarble Arena off the coast of Lake Michigan in Kenosha, Wisconsin, as the visiting Blue Jays of Elmhurst University head north to take on the Firebirds of Carthage, College alongside Eric. I'm Pete. Eric, let's look at the situation at hand. Elena Knabel getting the start today, and I think that bears mentioning because throughout the season, Coach Jones, she's been the mad scientist with the lineups. Grace Cord, the freshman, getting the start sometimes. On the other side, other players like Addie Ebelin getting the start, but today, Morrissey taking the tip-off, Knabel getting the start.
Yeah, you'd like to see Knabel take advantage of this opportunity, and with Coach Jones talking about rebounding being so important today, that's something, Knabel is her strength, so look for her to crash the glass and keep the ball out of the Blue Jays' hands as a quick steal for the Firebird defense.
The Blue Jays wearing the baby blue as Thistle looks for the three, can't find it off the back iron, bounced up in the air. Offensive board, Spear rolls around, no good. Knabel has it pulled from behind. Good job defensively by number 5, Tarisha Sessions.
Yeah, Knabel already involved there. She kept the first ball alive. Couldn't convert on the bucket down low, but it looks like she'll be active all night trying to crash the boards and bring it home for Firebirds.
Shot clock winding down at 5. Good defense on the top. Kicking it out, looking for the long range 3 from the hip. Rattles around and good. Kristen Bacata out of Alpo, Indiana delivers.
Yeah, Elmhurst, you take a look at their scoring averages for the team. It's kind of spread out up and down the lineup, so they will take the open threes if they see them. They're near the top half in three-point attempts per game, so not afraid to shoot it, and they knock their first one down.
And Knight, apparently heel was on the line as the pass went, or the ball, you should say, bounced back to her. Knight kind of favoring her left hip right now, was holding. Let's see if that comes into play at all. But again, huge 3-ball last possession by Bacata. Bacata 3 for 13 from long range on the season, and that was Curry range. Pokes it ahead to no avail. As Thistle now picks up the pieces, Carthage in their home whites with red numbers and letters, black trim. Morrissey tries to drive in, nothing there. Knabel looks for the long range 2, rolls around, no good. Defensive board for the Jays.
Tough one. Oh, it looks like a halfway down. Knabel couldn't connect. And not sure if this is the game plan for the Blue Jays, but it looks like Bacata getting involved right away. Shot the 3, took it to the hole last possession, but there picks up a travel. So looks like Kristen looking to get involved early for her Blue Jays teammates.
Again, overall, Elmhurst 2-8 in conference play. Carthage at 4-5. Knabel delivers from the low post.
Great look by Spear there. Saw Knabel kind of left alone, and that was an easy 2 for Elena.
Oh my goodness, absolute rainmaker by number 24, Klaczynski out of St. John's, Indiana. I mean, that was way downtown.
Yeah, if you're Carthage, you're going to have to, if they're going to shoot those out there, get a hand in the face, close out a little harder, but you kind of see as the game goes along if they can keep connecting on those long threes.
Yeah. Well, Elmhurst came away victorious against North Park this past Wednesday. They started 2 for 8 and 3 for their first 15. And the reason I mentioned that is that was a conversation piece with Coach Jones in the pregame chat. Was she and I both know you're not going to be 3 for 15 to start every game, and so you got to be aware of it. As Morrissey misses, gets her own offensive board, kicks out, Spear shoots it, banks it, can't get it in. Offensive or defensive board by Cusack out of Vancouver, Washington. The Linfield transfer.
I mean, you can tell when you look at the two lineups, Elmhurst brings a much smaller lineup, so the three-point game is going to be huge for them today to stay with Carthage. And for Carthage, highlighted again the pre-games, when they miss those threes, haul them in, so it's one and done for their offense.
Foot almost slid, looking for the long-range 3, no good. Almost went in, and a foul going to be called. And Carthage trying to take advantage. You know, we talked about Elmhurst and their cold shooting to start their prior game. That's Carthage right now. I mean, we're 3.5 minutes in and 2 points to count for.
Yeah, I think if you're Coach Jones, keep working the ball down low. Seems like they've gotten some good looks with Knabel. and exploit the height advantage. It's apparent on the court when you're up here. It's Canelo posting up down there, trying to asking for the ball.
Morrissey floats it up and good. First basket for Mariana Morrissey, one of the leading scorers, and a misguided pass for Bakata. And substitution now. Knebel can get a breather, and Ebeling checks in. Nice start for nice start for Knebel, getting the start this afternoon. Again, we appreciate you being with us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network against the Blue Jays of Elmhurst.
That's a rebounds for rebounds type of sub right there. Believe Ebeling near the top in team rebounds and one of their best rebounders.
Morrissey tries to pass it in. Good job poking it away at the last moment. MC Brown out of Boylan Catholic. Firebirds within 2. Substitution getting a little bit of a breather is going to be Sessions out of California. Quick pop up by Morrissey. No good. Swatted away. Fouls up her own board and gets it. As McQuay has checked into the game. Now McQuay, one of the leading scorers, actual leading scorer, gets the offensive board, and that was something that Carthage talked about having to limit. Taking the point right now is Roan Cusack. 10 on the shot clock. Morrissey takes the strong point, as we saw. Oh, nice takeaway by Thistle. Up ahead to Morrissey. No foul called. A little bit of contact on the hip, but no call against Klaczynski. And Morrissey, I believe, is going to be called for the foul right in front of the bench. Jumping up is head coach Jason Pruitt. We talked about the national traveler head coach Jason Pruitt from Georgia. Has been to Mississippi, to California. Now finds himself in the western burbs of Chicago.
Yeah, I believe he was at Laverne last year and had a great turnaround program, and with that turnaround decided to take his talents to the CCIW. And it's been rough, record-wise so far for his team this year, but record doesn't matter. You're always trying to build wins.
Trying to step through the contact was McQuay. A Marion transfer from Saratoga, Utah. And we're going to have a timeout on the court. We'll stay here. 6-6 your score. Elmhurst had a 6-2 lead to start things off. Slowly but surely, Carthage starting to find themselves. But I'll tell you right now, one of the conversation pieces with Coach Jones pregame was, anybody that says, can't look past Elmhurst, she said it is a tough, physical team, and we've seen that so far. They have forced Carthage to really earn those 6 points.
Yeah, Carthage have got some looks down in the restricted area, but not been able to capitalize a couple times. Morrissey on that steal and drive, you expect her to make that layup more often than not. Not sure if thought she had contact there, but I think what you look at is, you see Morrissey take it, steal there, but as the game goes on, I think if Carthage can keep getting those looks down low, and you just expect a team that can shoot like Carthage can to start converting those. And the key here is then, as we saw, is the 6 points from Elmhurst, 2 threes. So how many threes can Elmhurst make to stay in this game?
Yeah, again, it was a victory Elmhurst had versus North Park just a few days ago on Wednesday, 75-63. Carthage came away victorious 67-42 against North Central at home. And so both teams coming off of a win, and that's what you want to see if you're Carthage. Get on the winning way, continue that along, because again, Carthage went through a tough spell where they had lost 3 in a row, Milliken, Carroll, and Illinois Wesleyan in their own right. And so both teams losing streak into a win, but somebody's going to get back on the losing side here today. Spear gets it off the left side. Crisp pass up to the top is Wamser, who's checked in. Good pass to Ebeling down low, and not able to close in time is McQuay. Carthage takes the lead.
That was a great clear out there by Ebeling. Just sealed her man off and was able to get the dump down entry pass, and that's an easy 2 for Addison.
Trap at the top of the key. Foul going to be called. I'm not sure if it's on Wamser or Thistle. And Thistle is going to come away with the whistle. Thistle with the whistle.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Does, sure does, sure does. Well, especially now that we know we quasi have our voices back, you could say things like Thistle with the whistle. I was going to say we should make it a T-shirt, but that could be a negative connotation. You know, Thistle gets fouls, and you don't necessarily want that. So, point is tied at 8. Nice bucket. It was only a matter of time before McQuay gets on the scoring side of things. She's the leading scorer again for Elmhurst, 11.4 points per game. Up, good. Ebeling finds another 2-ball. 4 out of the 10 points for the Firebirds are away of Addie Ebeling.
Yeah, we've gotten into this game a little bit. It's interesting to see Knight not taking a shot yet, and it's someone who Carthage leans on offensively, or at least has been all season. So we'll see when she starts to look for a shot here.
Oh my goodness, another super long range downtown Klaczynski. Her second basket from the same spot. I mean, if this is NBA Jam back in the day, that's like a 6-pointer. Not to try to date myself. Have you heard of
yes,
NBA?
Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you,
Oh
Eric.
yeah.
Eric Elger, ladies and gentlemen, has played NBA Jam. I appreciate that.
You're talking about tournament edition.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, TE, you get the additional points.
Well, yeah, that does seem to be a hot spot for that, for Klaczynski there, as she looks from the other side of the key and did not connect there.
1-point lead for the visiting Blue Jays. Knight rolls in, left-hand hook shot. No good.
Didn't quite get squared up enough there.
Spear going to be called for the foul. Again, Alumni Day today, so shout out to all the alumni, part of this seasoned Carthage Firebird squad. As checking back in for Elmhurst is Kristen Bacata. Nora Ram checks in the UIC transfer.
And that is a Kenosha native checking in for Elmhurst there. Katie Matrice, Kenosha St. Joseph player. Her father was one of the legendary coaches at Tremper football, one of the best coaches that come through this city. Katie Matrice, her father, one of the best, Frank.
Knight on the one step, can't find it off the back iron.
Drive down Frank Matrice way quite a bit by Tremper.
Appreciate the geography lesson. How far is that from here?
Well, it's right outside of Tremper, so they dedicated that street for Frank Matrice. He unfortunately lost his battle with cancer a few years ago, and so he is someone who is remembered very fondly for the contributions he brought to this city, and it's great to see his kids out there competing just like how he would have wanted.
One-point deficit with 1:40 remaining in the opening quarter. No points yet for Knight, as that was a misguided attempt to force it into Morrissey. Looking for 3, rolls around, no good. Offensive board again. Swiped up in the air. Coming away with it is Aram. She gets trapped. That might be a timeout. Jump ball called before the timeout could be called. Coach Pruitt all over that one. And that's just a smart play. And you get stuck in that coffin corner. Smart job defensively by Elmhurst. Morrissey drives in with the left hand, kicks out. Can the Firebirds regain the lead? They cannot. Defensive board by McQuay. As she drives in, Euro steps, the left hand, and they're going to call it travel. Kind of slid the back foot on that Euro step.
Didn't quite get that off, that pivot foot step quite in time with when she made her move. So you don't see that travel called, even if it is, when the Euro step goes in, it seems like refs kind of back off it more than not. But there they got McQuay on the travel. And that's 6 turnovers now for Elmhurst.
Yeah, not a number that they're happy about, but still have the lead with a chance to add on. Driving in, right hand, and there's the aggression for Bakata. Bakata, the freshman, already had 12 points in the win over Rockford. First team all-academic, all-state honoree in high school, sectional championship, all-state honorable mention. A huge find for the Elmhurst squad. Again, the freshman out of Valpo, Indiana. That goes out of play, and chasing it down at the last moment was Cusack. So Elmhurst leads by 3. Thistle checks back in on the whistle for Nora Aram. So quick breather, Aram already out.
Yeah, Carthage, it seems like just their shooting has just seemed a little off so far. Baskets that you've seen this team knock down have been just seemed awry somehow. I don't know if Carthage can keep getting that ball down low and make the opportunities a little easier. Is there a nice kick out by Morrissey?
Ebeling wants 3, can't find it. Thistle tries for the offensive board, hits the bottom of the backboard. And at the end of quarter number 1, the visiting Blue Jays lead over Carthage 13-10. We will take a timeout when we come back. Quarter 2 action on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Quarter number 2 about to get underway on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. For Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. Elmhurst with possession and the lead after 1. As discussed, 3 for 15 is how Elmhurst started their contest against North Park just a few days ago. And already starting quarter number 2 right where they left off. Another nice basket for the Blue Jays. First basket of the afternoon by Tarisha Sessions out of Barstow, California.
Yeah, you can kind of tell what Coach Pruitt is looking for out of his team.
Yep.
He'll take threes if you give it to him, but other than that, they'll cut to the basket hard or try to get layups near the rim. So it's high percentage shots, threes, and shots near the hoop. It seemed to be their offensive identity. So a tie up with the basketball there.
So after that jump, possession's going to stay with Carthage. 5-point lead. Knight. No good off the front iron. Strong board by Cusack. Stands only 5'2". But again, that's somebody you just give the hustle award to. Went to Gonzaga High School. The junior out of Vancouver, Washington. Again, transferred from Linfield.
Tough shot there. So Sessions looking to stay aggressive after the opening bucket. Just kind of put her head down there and muscle it to the hoop, drawing the foul. But that seems to be the MO for Elmhurst is hang around the three-point line, get some screens up at the top, see if you can cut to the hoop.
Tarisha Sessions, a 6.25 free throw shooter, misses the first one. She looks for number 2 and make it a 6-point lead. able to find it. I want to remind everybody, follow Carthage Athletics on social media, Carthage Athletics on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on X at Carthage Sports. Ebeling from the free throw line, no good off the back iron. Offensive board by Morrissey, and she just strong-armed that offensive board.
Yeah, Morrissey's going to need to be more assertive here as a travel, which you think Elmhurst is able to reduce some of their turnovers. That could even be, Carthage be even a little more in trouble than they have been, but those turnovers have given away possessions for the Blue Jays. But you expect Morrissey to start getting a little more assertive here and finding her shot, because the offense a little lagging so far early on. Who's going to be that spark to bring the Firebirds back to life here?
Strong pass into Ebeling. She goes up with the right hand, no good. Tries to get the board, and that's going to be a foul. She just absolutely manhandled Cusack to the ground, but it wasn't on purpose. It was momentum, but hey, if foul's a foul. As Ebeling checks out her second foul already, only a minute and 40 into quarter number 2. Knable back into the lineup. We have still yet to see Grace Cord on the afternoon, so it's something to keep in mind there. Again, somebody who is a rotational starter for the team still hasn't seen the court.
Yeah, you wonder when Coach Jones might open up the bench a little bit more, especially if things aren't going how they've been planned. If they kind of stay in this little mini early game slump, might look to freshen it up with some new ideas, some new offensive firepower.
Knight looking for the inbound. Drives in, kicks out to the right side, all the way back to the front. Spear, quick snap, good job swatting it away. Cusack found the lane. I mean, again, Eric, she's 5'2", but she is out jumping both teams right now.
It's interesting where they have her down there. She's all the way down underneath the basket.
Yeah.
And she was the one breaking up that pass. You could see that pass from up here. That was a knockdown by Knable.
Outstanding job by Knable, making her presence known. Looking for the three again. Contact, and whistle's going to be called. Morrissey helping up. And see, that's what we talked about in quarter number 1. Klaczynski has 2 3-pointers from farther away than that attempt. And at first you're like, okay, you got to give her that much space. You can't, she's not going to keep it. Well, she's made 2. And so now Morrissey and the Firebirds have to respect that. And now so much so that they are sending her to the line for 3.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. That was a hard closeout by Morrissey and just didn't really let her land, I think is how they call that. So, I mean, that's the last thing you want to do as a defender, but when she's hot as she's been, you also hate seeing threes, going uncontested too.
All 3 good. Klaczynski only a 500 free throw shooter on the season, so racks that number up, and she's a .278 shooter from 3, averaging 9.3 a game, or 9.4, excuse me. So she is 1 point away from tying that season high. But again, that's what you need if you're Elmhurst. Who's going to step up on any given day? Carthage very top heavy with Morrissey and Knight, which is fine. That's their style of play. That's their style of scoring. One of those 2 players can take over a game. Bit diversified attack for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, and we highlighted Elmhurst, not one of the best CCIW defensive teams, but I mean, they've held Carthage to 14 points, and as this game stretches on, you can just see the confidence build and build for the Blue Jays, and you wonder if Coach Jones might look for a timeout here early on. It just seems kind of like they're just in a funk, and it's just, kind of waiting for them to spark back to life.
Well, again, she's been known to do so this year. When it gets to a certain point, somebody like a Malia Green, you pull off the bench, log in a few minutes, get a few shots off, get a few baskets, and get your rotation back underway. So, oh my goodness. Look at this. Look at that bench. Look at that bench. Who called it?
That was called.
Called it. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait. Don't forget, folks, post-game show, Coach Jones joins us. If Carthage comes out victorious, air ball off to the side, I'm going to ask about this very thing. I'm going to ask her, did you hear us from the perch? Layup, good. Elmhurst 21-14. But again, it just shows the wherewithal, the awareness of Coach Jones, and that she has a system. And she needs a spark right now, and Green's that type of spark plug of a player.
Yeah, I noticed Green is the end of the high five expert on the team. So,
yeah.
Someone like her, a lot of energy, and trying to get this team involved and get, off the schneid here. And there's Green. Yeah, it really was like, when you mentioned her, it was like there was a earpiece in Coach Jones' ear. If we only had that kind of power, though,
wow.
Coach, that might not be, listening to us too long about that. Coach Jones might be in a little trouble.
Well, see, now if I say that, Thistle no good off the back iron. Also, I could say if I tell her that story, she'll be like, well, I'm never listening to you again.
This is going to work out great. Don't worry.
Green, again, staunch defender at the top. And she's one of those conversation pieces early and often in the season that Coach Jones took over, and she said, look, she's one of my best shooters on my team, but had to have some confidence boost, had to be able to build her up and say, hey, you're one of my best shooters. Shooters shoot, make it happen. Nice job boxing out there by Malia Green, forcing Elmhurst to not be able to get the rebound, and that's the type of enforcer you have. She forced Picata, boxed her out, 10-on-10 action. Carthage gets the ball.
Yeah, step in, come in, do your role. Coach Jones, reducing those second chance opportunities. And, yeah, Malia just rode her right out of bounds. And, again, Carthage shooting only 24% so far in the game. Where are they going to get those opportunities and looks?
Green called for the travel. Looked like there was a little bit of contact, but no call there, so slip of the shoe, and 21-14. So, again, not the second quarter that Carthage would have expected. But, again, Coach Jones, during the conversation pre-game, we said we cannot look past this team. They are a tough team. Their record does not reflect where this team is at. And when you look at where they're at, 8-11 overall, 2-8 in conference play. CCIW is one of the toughest conferences in the area. So, of course, it may not be sunshine and rainbows when you hit conference play, but 6 out of their 8 wins were in non-conference play. So coming into conference play, they were above 500 team. And so, Eric, it's not surprising that Elmhurst is, being so successful here this afternoon. When you look at the overall numbers, 13-10 outscoring Carthage in quarter number 1, 8-4 already in quarter number 2. Klaczynski, 9 points leading the way.
Yeah, you look at, when you compare just that last time they played Carthage put up 80 points, and you expect to be a hard time for Carthage to reach that offensive output. So now it's like Coach Jones, you guys say like, hey, this game's coming a little more of a slugfest here. Yeah. How do how does the game plan adjust kind of as the game's been going here? Do you look to switch up some defensive looks, see if you can create more turnovers to get Elmhurst uncomfortable here? But yeah, it's been a struggle so far.
Something else to keep in mind, Carthage 0 for 8 from three-point land. And that's not something they necessarily rely on, but when you're 0 for, it's going to be hard to win some games when you can't shoot any from the three-point land. Rolls around as Knable in at that strong forward position. That forward center. Knight goes up with the right hand. She'll be fouled, and that might be the new strategy for Carthage. All right, we haven't felt anything from 3. Some of our 2-pointers are falling. Let's just penetrate and see if we can get fouled on the way up.
Yeah, free throws, as good of a way to get back into a game as there is. You hope Lauren connects on both of these, but getting to the hoop, drawing fouls.
Yeah. Knight up and good, second leading scorer on the team, 15.5 a game, 768 from the field. Shout out as well to one Bill Downing, the play-by-play announcer for Elmhurst, is tuning into our broadcast today. So shout out to Bill. Hope all is well. That one poked away by Thistle. it's a nice, as you and I talk about sometimes, Eric, a little camaraderie, a small world of broadcasting when, you know, a lot of people know everybody else. Bill, one of the good ones.
So you see Elmhurst sticking with their spread around the three-point line.
Thistle comes away with the defensive board, pushing the pace. Green open to the right, not able to go there. Knight takes the three. No good off the front iron. Offensive board, Spear up strong, no good. Trying to poke it up is Knable and Green to no avail.
Elmhurst, a good crash there, but couldn't connect. And those looks that Carthage is not seeming to convert, you have to figure out a way to start getting those to fall. Down 5 here, 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, Wamser, another scoreless player on the court right now. Thought about the three, drives in, kicks out, open for three. Chris passing, no good off the back iron. Offensive board once again by Cusack. The pinball rebound went right to her kneecap. She picked up the pieces, 10 on the shot clock.
It is something with an outside shooting team. Those long rebounds are hard to track down.
And foul going to be called on Wamser. Now, something else to keep in mind, I guess you could say to look optimistically for a Carthage squad. They're still within striking distance. It's not like it's gotten away from them. So, you know, whether it's the third quarter, whether you're this close in the fourth, Carthage calls a timeout. We'll stay here with 2:58 remaining until halftime. Happy Alumni Day. Happy Saturday. Happy last weekend in January. I'm sorry, when does January allowed to be the slowest and longest month? All in the same, you know, year. It's just not allowed. For Eric, I'm Pete. Thank you for joining us. Carthage 4-5 in conference play right now as they sit 6th overall, a half game behind North Central, who they defeated on Wednesday evening. Elmhurst defeated North Park to remain 8th out of 9th at 2-8 in conference play. But again, Carthage, they're within striking distance. If some of those shots start to fall, again, 0 for 9 now from 3, 7 from 31 from the field. Law of averages, if some of them start to fall, it's a different ballgame.
Yeah, another thing that's been held in check is that Carthage hasn't really had many opportunities to get out and run with either Morrissey or some of their guards and try to get some transition layups. Elmhurst has kind of bottled it in, and everything that Carthage has had to run through offensively has been a half-court offense. And you see, as you mentioned, we got Grace Cord in here now.
Yeah, so we talked about, you know, somebody that based on matchups has gotten starts. Millie Green with the rebound. Green likely to take as she is fouled. So,
I mean, take a look at the lineup for Carthage
I was
right
just
now.
gonna say.
And there is one starter on the floor, and that is Knight. The other four for the Firebirds right now coming off the bench. So, like we mentioned, Coach Jones shuffling the cards here. Where can they get a little offensive momentum, a little identity?
Well, I think that's the faith that Coach Jones has in this squad in her first year, is somebody's going to have to step up. How about that? Knight with the spinaroonie, delivering a beautiful bucket. Firebirds back within 3.
What a move there. Up with the left hand after the spin. Made it look easy, which we know it is not. But, yeah, cutting it to 3. Continue to attack the basket if you're Carthage.
Up and good. Ariana Grimes out of Los Angeles, California, the 6-foot center, subs in and immediately gets a good pass underneath and comes away with the conversion.
Yeah, there is a height on the roster for Elmhurst.
Oh, yeah.
Only 6-footer they have, but it seems like when players have come in from Elmhurst, they've gotten involved right away, been aggressive, and the offense has been there for the Blue Jays early on.
You know, and that's something to keep in mind as well, that Coach Jones has talked about her recruiting path. What's the recruiting been for the first year? As that's a miss, as Knight comes away with it, jump ball is going to be called. Possession is going to stay with Carthage. As she said, I'm recruiting height right now. You know, she inherited a sub 6-foot team, brought in Grace Cord, the only 6-footer on the squad. And she said, that's what I'm recruiting and that's what I want. Cord misses the bucket, swatted away, and that possession arrow will go the way of the Blue Jays.
Another decent look. Carthage just couldn't seem to get to fall. And you can tell Coach Jones is encouraging, getting it inside. And right now, because with 0 for 10 from the three-point line, you expect, where are we going to get that offense? And Grace Cord unable to capitalize, but did get a good look.
Stick around, halftime stats, highlights, and more. Also a quick preview of the men's game, which comes immediately following. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'm not trying to date myself with that one, but you get the point. And stick around for the post-game show. Coach Jones will join us to recap this one. And, I'm sure she's going to want a better result in the second half than the first half. But again, as we stated and as you pointed out, so well, when you have Ebeling, Knabel, Knight, or not Knight, but I should say Spear, Morrissey, all on the bench right now, somebody's got to figure it out offensively for the Firebirds. Bounce pass to Knight. She drives in, draws contact, just throwing it up off the hip, no good. Offensive board. Malia Green wants it all. Boom shakalaka.
That's exactly what you need for the Firebirds. The game's been kind of, the shots not been going down, getting the second chance opportunities. Green hungry for the ball, getting the putback. Carthage picking up another turnover.
Yep.
Can they steal a little momentum here before the half?
Good defense at the top of the key. Nakata. Cord drops off to the left. She wants a three ball. Finds it. The freshman ties it up. Trifecta from 44.
And just like that, we're tied. Pass up the early opportunity. Nice ball fake. Gets herself a clean look at three, and that one looked good right out of the hands from up here.
Green converges. Hands up, floater with the right hand. As time expires, going into half, a 5-0 run to close things out for the Firebirds. 23-23 at half. We will take a timeout when we come back. Halftime report right here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome into the halftime show on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. For Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. Eric, a exciting end to quarter number one for the Firebirds. They were trailing 23-18 after recently checked in Elmhurst player. Got a basket to really kind of put things ahead. Ariana Grimes out of Westchester Enriched Science Magnet High School, and you're like, oh, this is kind of the run Elmhurst is trying to, take away any sort of momentum. Boy, oh boy, did the tide turn for Carthage. Malia Green comes away with the board, puts it back up, and then Grace Cord, the freshman center, comes away with a huge three to end things.
Yeah, that's exactly looking for Carthage to close out the half strong, and they close out the half strong with their bench. So that was huge to see Coach Jones. She shuffled the cards, as we said, and went with some of the younger options and was able to get that paid off. And yeah, that was the first, Grace Cord, that was the first three the team had made all half. It took almost, the full 20 minutes of the half to get there. But maybe, once you see one go in, they say, there's more to follow.
Looking at some of the numbers now, again, tied at 23. Morrissey, 6 points, 3 boards. However, 2 personal fouls already on Morrissey. That's something you kind of mentioned. Don't want to get her in foul trouble. And, the second as well. Lauren Knight, only 1 for 8 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. Somebody that, they expect to heat up, but when you have Morrissey in foul trouble, Knight not hot from the field or even average at this point, somebody's got to step up. Ebeling, Knable, Green have all done just that.
Exactly, and it's been kind of a weird half for Morrissey, who not featured much at all that second part of the game, but maybe Lauren Knight missed playing off of her guard teammate there, because they've been the two-headed attack, and Knight not able to get it going, but maybe with a little more Morrissey sprinkled in there, the two of them can kind of pick each other up and continue to climb up on the scoreboard. Because 23 points at half, you'd expect Coach Jones to expect a better scoring output than that.
That's exactly how much Carthage scored in the second quarter alone against Elmhurst, their last matchup a month ago, December the 9th, 80-56. Carthage, a 6-game win streak, including 25-7 overall record against this Elmhurst team. But let's look at Elmhurst really quickly before we preview the men's game. People came in and maybe said, okay, that should be an easier win for Carthage. Not the case at all. Elmhurst has shown up and showed out so far, and minus that run by Carthage in the final 90 seconds, Elmhurst has put on a show. Yeah,
you really think Elmhurst really could have brought a little more damage in that first half. Turnovers, they lost some empty possessions because of those, and not shooting the lights out from three. Only 3 of 15 from the three-point land. So Elmhurst not able to make as many shots. Those turnovers is what kept Carthage where they needed to be to tie it up before half.
Before we take our final break before the second half of action, looking at the men's side of things, Elmhurst 8-2 in conference play, second in the conference. Carthage a half game behind at 7-2. That game immediately following this one, boy, is that going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, that's a heavyweight matchup there. If you take a look at the CCIW standings for the men, it's the top 3 teams have kind of risen to the top. And so if you're Carthage and you have aspirations of staying in this conference championship hunt, you're going to need the victory like tonight, because, you can't let Wesleyan climb any higher or even get Elmhurst those 2 wins against you. So a huge, huge, huge contest for Coach Jurkovic and his boys.
All right, well, that one will be following this one, but second half action coming your way shortly. For Eric, I'm Pete on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome in. Time for second half action. Elmhurst gets the inbound for Eric. Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. Thank you for joining us this Saturday afternoon. Both teams tied at 23, so starting things fresh. Carthage, 5-0 run to end the first half. Knable gets the defensive board. Starting 5 back out there for Carthage.
Yeah, you notice that immediately. Going back to return to the starters, and a nice look by Morrissey, and boom. Morrissey to Knable there.
Yeah. Knable got the start today. It's usually Ebeling or Cord that get the start in that forward center position. Ebeling got the nod today, already 6 points. Carthage, their first lead since early on in the contest. Looking for 3, follows up the shot, no good. Morrissey picks up the pace. She has Knight to her right, to the left, Knable. Thistle thought about it. She drives in, passes off to Knable. Man defense right now for the Blue Jays. Morrissey looks for Spear one more time for Knight. Knight 1 for 7 from the field. Morrissey thought about the 3 ball, pulls up, long range 2, no good. Might have gotten touched a bit, but nonetheless, Cusack comes away with it. Drives in, shoots, no good. Morrissey gets the board.
Tell the starters look like the passings go a little crisp, moving the ball a little bit more, trying to get all 5 on the floor involved here.
Knight with the flick of the wrist. 3 ball.
That was pure. Just what you need from Coach Jones. If, come out of the second half here, get an easy look from your 2 leading guards here. You get Morrissey with an assist and Knight knocking down a 3.
Trying to answer back to no avail. Jump ball. Who else? Rowan Cusack. I mean, she's all over the court.
Yeah, she been.
So
it looks like there'll be a timeout.
So timeout's going to be called by Elmhurst. It was 23-23, a 5-0 run to end the first half, 5-0 to start the second half. So if you do the math, it's a 10-0 run if you include what happened in the first half for the Firebirds over the Blue Jays. Something else to keep in mind, Cusack now has part of her left hand taped up. Not sure if that's going to come into fruition being a righty, but we see she forced her way into that rebound nonetheless.
Yeah, Coach Pruitt taking an early timeout here. Saw that lead evaporate in the first half and already down 5 here in the second. Must not have liked what he saw there early. And if you're Carthage, keep the ball moving. That's how you got that open look for Knight. That's how you got the open look for Knable. And it seems like, coming out of the second half, they are motivated to attack and to get ahead against Elmhurst. I mentioned it, they have not had the lead very often.
Sure.
In fact, Elmhurst had it for 16 minutes in the first half, had the lead. So now, being ahead, what can you do to kind of squeeze that lead even larger and put the clamps down on defense?
Yeah, something else to keep in mind. Carthage has only been in the lead for 2 minutes of the entire game. Right now, Elmhurst scoreless in their last 4+ minutes and 1 for their last 11. We talked about that. Elmhurst was doing so well in that first quarter, in the first half of the second. But the law of averages said they're going to slow down. Carthage is going to heat up. It's just a matter of if and when. That's happened so far. Thistle thought about the 3, pulls up, tries to get it to Knable. Ill-advised pass. Coach Jones absolutely livid after that sequence as Thistle just tried to force it into a sea of blue.
Yeah, too many Blue Jays defenders there to kind of rifle that through. Looked like there could have been a skip pass open on the opposite end. But
goes up high, Knable fouls. That's going to be Knable's first foul of the afternoon.
And if you're Elmhurst, you keep looking to attack with players like Sessions, who has been able to find some success, taking it to the hoop, and using her strength to get her own buckets and, here drawing the foul now.
Peyton Schmidt checks out. Free throw up and good for Sessions. Not a lot of free throws in the first half. 7 total attempted for Elmhurst, 2 for Carthage. You know what's interesting is when Lauren Knight went to the line for those 2 free throws, we said, okay, maybe that's the method they used to get back in the game. Well, it wasn't the case at all. It's only coming away 1 for 2 from the free throw line are the Blue Jays. They still trail by 4, 3 minutes into quarter number 3. A lot of movement for this Firebird squad. Knable gets the pass for Thistle. Left-hand hook shot, no good. Offensive board. Morrissey looks for 3, rolls around, no good. The look was there.
Yeah, that's a good kick out by Knable after picking up the offensive rebound.
Keeps it herself. Nice job offensively. Bakata, she's up to 7 points. She had that long-range 3, and Spear going to be called for the travel. And just like that, Elmhurst gets the possession, and they're within 2.
Yeah, Bukata's got a nice inside-out game, you know, not afraid to kind of put it on the floor and use that. She's kind of got a floater and an interesting game for a freshman. She looks like she's got a lot of potential offensively.
Thought about pulling the trigger. Open again. Good defense, trap defense. At the Firebirds, Klesnik.
Yeah, Firebird defense looking for those traps, continue to force turnovers, and right on cue, there's one.
Yeah, Wamser pokes it away from Klaczynski. Thistle, wide open, airballs it. That's one of those situations where you're so open, you're like, oh wait, where's there a defender? There's nobody here.
Yeah, that's kind of strange to see that come up so empty, but Thistle, you know, if you're a shooter, keep shooting. It was a good look, but yeah, it just wasn't where it needed to be. But this is something Carthage has done well over the course of the season. Is cause a little havoc, trap. They got Wamser running the point on defense here, and you can see a second turnover, back-to-back possessions.
Yeah, a lot of movement defensively. That time Thistle gets the hand in and takes it away. Carthage also known for a full court pressure type of team when they want to be, so I'm surprised they're not applying more pressure, or at least didn't apply more pressure in that first half.
Yeah, you're right. I do go to that kind of half-court trap defense, but they're kind of letting them get it to the key a little bit more, but it's been effective here in the second half. And Knight just put her head down there and went up strong to draw the foul. She makes her first one, but yeah, I mean, Knight not finding it from the outside, still picking up some free throws to add to the total here. And see if this Carthage defense continues the pressure and turnover causing ways here.
Well, it's forced Elmhurst a misguided shot. Thistle comes away with it. It's forced them to kind of play at a faster pace than they've been used to. They were able to kind of have their way and take their shots in the first half. Not so much here in half number 2, only 3 points to speak of in the first 5 minutes. Knight drives out to Thistle, had the shot, decided not to take it. Knight passes into Cord. Cord forces her way up. She'll be fouled from behind by Sessions.
Cord able to seal off to get the entry pass there and able to draw that foul.
Third foul now for Sessions as she is going to check out, and in comes Grimes. So a timeout will be taken. We'll stay here. 4:52 remaining in quarter number 3. No other way to put it. It is a 13-3 run for Carthage versus Elmhurst dating back to the first half. And right now, Elmhurst, things aren't falling. And the pressure, you stated, Eric, so well, the pressure of Carthage, they flip things up defensively, and it's really causing the Blue Jays fits.
Yeah, Elmhurst not a great three-point shooting team, and it's even harder on them to get those open looks when they're the active hands of Carthage. They're sealing off passing lanes, and those drives to the basket have not been as apparent for the Blue Jays here in the second half. So Carthage doing a better job forcing everything on the outside and taking the ball away, and that's caused Elmhurst fits so far this second half.
Right now, Elmhurst won for their last 5. In the contest, Knable 3 for 4 from the field. So Knable in her last 4 shots. So Knable really stepping up. Lauren Knight, again, a quiet 9 points, 2 for 9 from the field, but 4 for 4 from the free throw line. So maybe that's the situation we talked about in the first half. All right, Knight not necessarily feeling hot from the field. Well, maybe she just starts trying to drive in, get the penetration, go to the free throw line where she's so good.
Yeah, that's something, as any great scorer realizes that, hey, I gotta find my offense in as any way I can, and if that looks a little different than me knocking down outside jumpers, then so be it. I'll take the free throws and knock those down, and points are points. Doesn't matter how you get them.
Cord able to come away with it. So 32, 26 your score, and hitting the ground hard was Margaret Spear, and foul going to be called against Elmhurst. Lindsay Novak.
Yeah, you wonder what adjustments Coach Pruitt for the Blue Jays is going to make here, because it just seems like they haven't been able to figure out the pressure that Carthage has presented them, and it's going to be hard for them to come back in a game. They're only down 6, but getting empty possessions and turnovers is not going to get you back in the game. An offensive foul there, kind of an interesting call on Wamser. Looked like she was going to set a screen, kind of turned away, and according to the ref, pushed off on the Blue Jay player to pick up that offensive foul.
Carthage still only 2 for 14 from three-point land. As a Blue Jay hits the ground, 3 ball following up, no good. Cord comes away with the board. Knight trying to get a little bit of speed going, and foul again by Lindsay Novak out of Romeoville.
That's another thing we mentioned in the first half, is that Carthage didn't really have any opportunities to get out and go in transition. So as soon as Knight got the ball there, put on the accelerator and drew the foul, and Carthage already have drawn 4 fouls. Next foul they'll be shooting.
Thistle does just that. Cord pops up, and a travel going to be called as she kind of hopped and knew she was about to get blocked. So
yeah, she's not going to want that on her highlight reel, I think she would admit. But yeah, sometimes you get off your feet there and run out of options, and unfortunately couldn't find a pass or get the shot off.
Well, and that's a situation as well. I don't want to say she was settling for that baseline, but she gets that pass, takes 3 in. There's a chance for a layup. There's nobody in front of her. So, that's probably a game film item, as will that be for number 21, Natalie Hardy out of Eureka, Missouri. Elmhurst back to within 3.
That's going to be the way Elmhurst is going to go. If they can knock down enough threes, they're only down 3. Can they shoot it well enough to stay in the game? Swampster loses there, but
foul going to be called on Spear as she's a bit frustrated. She came up, it was a misplay on the ground, kind of a miscommunication pass or mishandle, but she came up very aggressively with that left elbow. And next thing you know, Elmhurst has a chance with a 3 to tie it.
Yeah, Spear just trying to pick up the ball, and unfortunately, by trying to make sure she grabbed it, was bumped one of the defenders there for Blue Jays. So if you're Elmhurst, it seems like they've kind of got 3-pointers from everywhere around here, and sticking with a hot hand there. That's her second 3 knocked down there. Natalie Hardy back-to-back trays. And the Blue Jays will just take whoever is knocking them down, and Knight answers by herself. And now we got a little firepower back and forth here.
Trying to answer back. And that's going to go the way of the Firebirds. Wow, what a sequence there. I let it breathe. I let it play out.
Yeah, Lauren Knight, someone that, I mean, that was her deepest three of the game, and that was the one she knocks down. So you expect someone as talented and good offensively as Knight to make those shots that she missed in the first half. And the signature Mariana Morrissey drive there. There aren't many people in the conference that get to the rim as often, as quickly as she does.
Morrissey up and good from the free throw line.
And I think if they had one of those skills competitions like they have in like the NHL, my guess is she'd be in the top, 5% of speed in the conference too.
It's such a quick first step. Making the shot, oh my word, and going to the line. Another long-range foul against Carthage.
And that's another one of those situations that happened in the first half where Klaczynski was knocking him down and she drew the foul on the hard closeout. Now with Hardy knocking down two shots, that hard closeout.
So just as the Firebirds had gotten a lead, a decent lead, Elmhurst, again, it was only a matter of time before they started feeling it again. Up and under, nothing there. Defensive board, you're not going to do much against Ariana Grimes. And foul going to be called against the aforementioned Grimes.
Illegal screen there. They're looking to stick with the hot hand of Hardy. And I was looking at the stats here. I was like, am I forgetting seeing Hardy on the floor before? But these are her first 4 minutes of the game and 3 threes coming off the bench. So if you're coach or Elmhurst, love to see the offensive explosion from a under, not getting a ton of playing time, but making the most of it.
Morrissey, a rare miss on the layup. The defense even took a step back just to try not to get the and one foul. Nonetheless, tied at 36. And foul going to be called on number 10, Kristen Bacata. Her second foul. She kind of threw the bow out, and that'll be called.
Yeah, tried to create space with her arm there, and ref right on top of it.
Matrice checks back into the contest. The pride of Kenosha.
And she's another player in this Blue Jay offense, so they'll, she can knock down threes as good as anyone on this team.
And Ebeling gets fouled on the way up. She'll head to the line for two. First foul to be called against Klaczynski. Ebeling's attempt now to give Carthage the lead.
It's kind of where you can see Elmhurst can be exposed defensively is without the height, they really don't have a presence down there.
Yeah.
And, with a couple nice passes there by Carthage, get the entry pass to Ebeling and easy look to get the foul.
Both good by Ebeling. And that's the big what if. What if Coach Jones in her first year at the helm of this Firebird squad had a big already? What would this team look like? Also, what if certain players are able to return or decide to return next year? Like, there's so many what ifs with this team. You have the likes of a Mariana Morrissey, a junior. So she knows she'll be here next year. So if you're able to find a huge impact freshman, even just one big to come in and play alongside Morrissey, my goodness, what's that team going to look like? But again, you have Lauren Knight. She's a senior. So odds are she will not be here next year. So you're losing your number 2 offensive scorer in relation to a potential big. So lot of scenarios. Not for now, we will say, with 48.5 left. Timeout's going to be called. A quick one will be here. 38-38. Talk me through really quickly, Eric, what has Elmhurst done to weather the storm and be able to slowly but surely come back and be tied up at 38 apiece with less than 60 seconds to go into the third?
I mean, I don't mean to be this simple, but they brought Hardy off the bench. I mean, that's where, coming off her first 5 minutes of the game, she's got 3 of 4 shooting from the three-point line, drawing a foul. I mean, that's been the instant offense off the bench. I have not seen, some of the other offensive leaders for Elmhurst really taking that many shots. So you see Hardy still out there. Look for them to continue to work through the hot hand and see how far that number 21 Hardy can take them.
Another player we haven't seen, and I'm trying to see if she's on the bench right now. I believe she is. Jessie Pekaski. There's another one that's been in that rotation of 3 to 4 forward/centers. She hasn't even seen the court yet today.
Yeah, she's a talented player for Carthage. She's got an inside-outside game. She, does a great job rebounding, hustles. So, yeah, Coach Jones, has her reasons for the rotations, and so maybe there's something with the matchup or something she doesn't like.
Sure.
That she, wants to put her players in the best position to succeed, and must like what she's got.
With Knable getting so much playing time, with 3, with 2, driving in, layup with the right hand, and what a way to end the third. Elmhurst weathers the storm of a 10-0 run, finds themselves back on top, 40-38, a thrilling fourth quarter surely coming your way. We'll be back, 2-point lead for the Blue Jays on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. So much scoring. They start, and again, it's like Carthage gets out to this lead, and Elmhurst, whoa, not so fast. I'm trying to see if there's who else is on the bench that they might deploy. I do think that is that Pekaski at least dressed. Yeah. Welcome back. Fourth quarter action. No place I'd rather be this Saturday afternoon. Elmhurst had a strong lead until the final 2 minutes of the opening half. Quick run for Carthage tied things up. Carthage started out quarter number 3 hot. Elmhurst weathered the storm, came back. A nice 2-pointer to end quarter number 3. Let's see how things shake out here in a fun CCIW matchup. Mishandle at the top of the key. Elmhurst now leads by 2, can extend it to a 2-possession game with this possession here.
Yeah, pass a little hot to handle, miscommunication. And Elmhurst, they're able to get that look out of the basket here and see if they continue to attack. But that third quarter was, you were talking about, looked way different than the first half, and the shots were going down. Looked like there's a lot more flow both sides. Morrissey knocking it down.
Mariana Morrissey. Could that be the spark? A quiet night for one Morrissey, who's used to scoring just in droves. Her season average, 16.6, only 10 so far. Blocked away by Carthage. Thistle brings it up the court. Morrissey's open to the right, decides to pass into Knable. Gets it blocked. Board, back out. Thistle. Knight no good off the front iron. But that's the thing, Knight. Shooters keep shooting.
It's good ball movement there to find that open look at Elmhurst. Kind of closing out and couldn't catch it, and then find Knight there. Yeah, you would expect her to continue shooting and knock those down here.
3 ball, making it rain. Anna Klaczynski. She is up to 16 points for the visiting Blue Jays. They're up by 2.
That's something I noticed about Knebel there. She got beat to end the quarter on the drive, and there she was she tried to close out and was worried about getting beat, but didn't close out fast enough to put the hand in her face. But there she takes a bucket herself. Yeah, that's a tough assignment for Knebel to guard. She has to be able to, not only be able to rebound and get the boards down low, but she's asked to close out on these three-point shooters that Elmhurst has.
Coach Jones was jumping and desperately calling for a timeout. None of her teammates heard her, or none of her team heard her, as they're bringing it up court now. Morrissey thought about shooting it. Spear for 3, no good off the back iron. We're tied at 43 apiece. 6:50 remaining in regulation. From her hip. Oh my goodness. Klaczynski in fuego. 19 points. 2 3 balls in recent possessions. Wow. Elmhurst up by 3.
Yeah, Knebel, again, did all that she could, had both hands up, but sometimes when you've got that confidence, it doesn't really matter what the defender does in front of you.
There's what ended the third quarter.
Yeah, that's where Knebel got beat on the drive, and so she was trying to close out and cut off the drive, but here you can see on that shot was playing the drive and gave her that open look that she was able to knock down. But Knebel not to be outshone herself. And then here's the last shot.
I mean, what else are you going to do if you're Knebel? Meet her at half court? I mean, that was just unbelievable shooting by Klaczynski. She's now at 19 points, as you see, 5 for 12 from the field, 4 of 9 for 3. She's only made 1 shot, not a 3 ball. Hardy again came in her own right, 3 for 4 from three-point land and had a 4-point play. So just, unceremonious scoring for Elmhurst. They're up by 3. A lot of time left to see what's going to happen, but wow, what an exciting afternoon.
Yeah, Elmhurst kind of reminds me of those NCAA tournament teams that can be so dangerous where, look, they can get hot from 3 and they can beat anybody in the country. And Elmhurst showing that some scorching shooting here in the second half by both.
Yeah. Well, not even in the entirety
Hardy
of the second. It's the last few minutes of the third and into the fourth, as Carthage now having the pressure applied. Can get all 3 back with 1 shot, but let's see what they decide to do or try to find offensively.
I'd like to see Morrissey get involved here. Or Knight, just as good.
Knight drives and finds the 2-handed layup. Carthage back to within 1.
Great take to the rack there by Knight.
Carthage 30% from the field, Elmhurst 37. 14 offensive boards for the Firebirds and fouled on the way down. And it looks like Klaczynski's going to go to the line for 2.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to run the offense through her until somebody can stop her.
Why not?
Exactly.
Why not at this point?
Exactly, and staying aggressive, getting to the free throw line. Carthage is going to have to find, maybe a matchup here that gives her a few more issues, as Knebel's been put down on the bench and trying to, Coach Jones trying to look at a new matchup, maybe get her a little more uncomfortable here in the second half.
Something else to note, Ebeling 4 fouls already, so a smaller lineup right now. Thistle up and good. Let's see if Elmhurst can take advantage of this small lineup, as Ebeling, Cord, and Knable all on the bench for Carthage.
Yeah, they've got Knight matched up against Sinski there.
Kicking out to the right side, driving in. Floater with the right hand and good. Bakata, that quick first step. You see it there again. Somebody's going to be open for Carthage. That was 3 defenders for the Blue Jays on 1 Thistle. Thistle crossover, layup with the left hand and good.
How about that? Back-to-back drives for Emma Thistle. Hasn't found her outside shot working today, but again, we talked about how great offensive players adjust. 2 drives to the basket, 4 points for Thistle there.
Thistle scoreless until the final 6 minutes of the contest. 2 crucial buckets. Spear one-on-one with Bakata. Bakata looks for the pass, keeps it herself, floats up with the right, no good. Offensive board by Bakata as she hits the ground hard. Just again, that offensive rebounding for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, Bukata's very kind of got that herky-jerky stop and start dribble. It's hard to defend a player like her because she just is so mixes up the speed. You know, you got to worry about her shooting from the outside, and yeah, a tough ask for Spear.
1 point game as Coach Pruitt yells out the call. Bakata floats it up, falling away, and that's good. Ooh, that's a close call. Wamser and Morrissey not happy as they let it bounce out of play as they thought it was last touched by a Blue Jay. What a break for Elmhurst.
Can't let that hurt if you're Carthage, and they won't.
There, that's a takeaway by Lauren Knight. Can the Firebirds reclaim the lead in a Saturday afternoon thriller? Wamser drives in, kicks out to Knight. Knight to Morrissey, 10 on the clock. Spear is open for 3, no good. Knight offensive board. Knight drives in herself and is going to get fouled on the way in, hit hard on the left hip, but she has a chance for 2 more. 4th foul called now on Sessions.
That's what you want out of your leader like Knight. She was able to box out, get the offensive rebound. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with the basket there, but drawing the foul, and you know the clock stopped, and you can take the lead here at both free throws. That one went on a little adventure there.
Yeah. Hey, as long as it hits the bottom of the net.
Shooter's touch.
Second one up, and that is nothing but the bottom of the net. Carthage regains the lead by 1, 3:40 remaining in the 4th. Almost a travel there, no call against Bakata. Turnaround, fadeaway jumper, no good. Poke from behind. Sessions was trying not to cause the foul. Knight keeps it herself. Firebirds up by 3.
I think they thought Knight was going to pass there, did a little look off of the hoop and took it herself.
Open for 3. Wamser with the defensive board. The slimmest of runs right now for the Firebirds. Can they add to it? Trailed by 1. Morrissey loses it, dives for it, out of bounds. So Morrissey tried to dribble in. It hit off her, I believe, her left shoe, matriculated toward the sideline.
Yeah, just didn't really have a handle as she made her break to the basket.
Wasted possession for the Firebirds. If you're a Carthage fan, you're hoping that doesn't come back to haunt you. Again, Coach Jones will join us for the post-game show immediately following the contest. Then the men's game slated to start at 4:15 Central Time. We'll see if that one starts on time because this one is a back-and-forth battle.
And that is Margaret Spear's 5th foul. Unfortunately for her, her night will be over. Didn't get on the scoring sheet, but made many different contributions on a couple block shots, a couple steals. But yeah, it's going to be a frustrating night for her. Just take the bench early.
At least the optimism is Ebeling comes in. She has 4 fouls of her own, but again, should a rebound opportunity exist, you got arguably your best rebounder. Subs in her own right. First shot up and good.
And that's something, rebound is something Carthage has been able to hold in check. They have 39 to 29 rebounding advantage, and especially when you look at the offensive rebounds, they've limited Elmhurst to just 6 offensive rebounds.
No good, and who gets the board? Ebeling even got a little bit of a shoulder shrug.
Yeah, tough rebound to pick up between 2 Blue Jays there.
Knight passes into Ebeling, tries to get it into Morrissey, does so. Morrissey up and good.
Somehow it got to Morrissey there, and Firebirds are thankful it did. Morrissey able to just scoop that up and lay it in, but ooh, that was tight.
4-point deficit for Elmhurst, under 2 minutes. They had a lead for much of the fourth. Nice job driving in as Sessions, and that was another situation where the Firebirds just didn't want to foul. Firebirds up by 2.
Yeah, that's been Sessions' game tonight, or this afternoon, I should say rather, taking it aggressively to the rim, and she's been able to pick up some of those non-3-point baskets that Elmhurst has needed.
Firebirds want to take as much of the shot clock away and make a basket. Knight gets it almost swiped away. Knight steps on the line. Another missed possession or missed opportunity for Carthage. We talked about how to hit off of Morrissey's foot a few possessions ago. Elmhurst now with a chance to tie or take the lead.
Yeah, this is a big possession for Elmhurst. Probably
huge.
Looking at 3 options here. You've got your 2 sharpshooter, 3-pointer, 21. You got both players, Hardy and Klaczynski, have been able to knock down 3s, but here's the kind of the hammer of the offense.
And that might be on Ebeling, and it is Ebeling's now going to be fouled out of the game, so it's going to be the Knable Cord show likely to finish things out.
Yeah,
So
Tarisha Sessions picks up a huge role for this team because everyone knows if you rely so much on the 3-point line, that can come and go. But Sessions has been a kind of a steady offensive presence that, drawing those fouls, getting key rebounders off the court, as well as getting to the free throw line.
And a miss for Sessions. She comes into the day a .620 free throw shooter, 7-point average on the year. Misses the first, but makes the second. A 1-point lead for Carthage. A so important possession.
Timeout.
Timeout could be called by Coach Jones. A good defensive trap. That time is Thistle. She's broken through the trap all afternoon, but that time they gave her a little bit of a gap to step through. However, there was no place to go with the ball. Smart timeout by Coach Jones.
Yeah, there's already 5 seconds off the shot clock. It was going to be hard to get out of there.
As we see that floater up from earlier in the fourth by Picata.
Thistle taking it to the hoop by herself. And there was just kind of an ill-advised inbound pass by Elmhurst that just cheaply gave the ball back to Carthage, which Knight was more than thankful to capitalize for. And Sessions again, she's been a steady presence, tough to keep out of the paint. And if you're Carthage, you really want to see a well-worked possession here. Obviously take care of the ball. And with Elmhurst only at 1 foul, it's not like they're going to be able to get to the free throw line easy. And
taken away, floater with the right hand and good. Not the inbound you wanted if you're the Firebirds. What a sequence by Bacata. Firebirds get it past half court. 1 point lead now for the Blue Jays.
Tough turnover there. Can they make amends for it?
Bounce pass. Thistle up and good.
What a pass by Aram there. Get the backdoor cut by Thistle. Man, how about Thistle? 6 points in the paint.
Firebirds aside with Ebeling fouling out to go small ball. Paid dividends there. Floater with the right hand and good. The Blue Jays answer back. 22 ticks on the clock. What a time to get your second basket of the afternoon is McQuay. Again, the leading scorer was more or less able to penetrate deep into the paint. Floater with the right hand.
Yeah, McQuay not have many minutes tonight, but man, that was a strong take to the basket. And, you know, Carthage down 1 here. You've got 22 seconds. What does Coach Jones draw up? And you think about something like, you know, your offensive rebounders, and unfortunately you've lost some of your height and your key rebounders there. So, you know, can they get that offensive rebound if there's a miss?
Want to remind everybody, top 6 teams make the postseason in the CCIW. Tuesday, February the 20th is when that starts. So we're in the final stretch. And boy, oh boy, Carthage, if they come away victorious, a huge win, a huge resolve. But right now, they're trailing by 1. And they were also close. If you think about it, Eric, they were 1 basket away from almost putting this away. Missed opportunities, ill-advised inbounds, and just like that, some floaters. Blue Jays take the lead.
Yeah, that inbound, something almost you couldn't believe happened. And
2 players fouled out for Carthage, Spear and Ebeling. Elmhurst 6 for their last 7. Knight gets the screen. Offensive foul called against Wamser. Wow.
Coach Jones asking for explanation there.
Timeout going to be called by Coach Pruitt. We wanted the dust to settle. Just like that now. It's 16 seconds remaining in the game. Carthage, instead of having an opportunity to take the lead and win, they now have to foul.
Yeah, Wamser has their second offensive foul that she's picked up here. You feel for her there because she had to be close to setting that screen. It was a monster screen. I mean, she blew up the defender that was covering Knight there, and it's going to come down to, can they get a steal? If they can't get that steal, maybe try to get a trap, and without those 2 things, we're going to have to look to foul.
Well, now's the situation. You look at the scoreboard, you look at the standings, I should say. Wheaton sitting at 4 and 6 overall. They don't play today. You want to talk about a breath of life that they've been given. If Wheaton comes away and it kind of starts winning out, they could split Carthage for that 6th and final seed. I mean, that is, if you're Blue Jays, hey, credit where credit is due. That's going to be your 3rd win, and who knows, maybe that sparks. That's 2 wins in a row you're going to have in conference play. That really,
that's a big
swing.
Confidence boost for Elmhurst. They come away with it, and they steal. Wamser almost able to knock it off Sessions there, and that would have been just what the doctor ordered for Carthage. Just 1 slight bounce away from getting the ball back there.
Looking for the inbounds. Is it a foul or a step on the line? It is a foul. Some of the Carthage fans right baseline were not happy and said, or are claiming that the contact happened after she stepped on the line, but nonetheless, Rowan Cusack at the line for two, an opportunity to make it a 3-point game with 14.6 remaining. First one up and good. So at this point, a two-pointer will tie it. A crucial free throw for the Blue Jays. Rolls around, no good. Morrissey. She tries to bring it up court. Passes to Thistle. Thistle, Knight for the lead. No good. Morrissey gets the board. It's a scrum on the ground. 2-second jump ball stays with Carthage.
What a look for Knight there.
Oh, no better.
Oh. He's trying to will that one into the basket.
This is it, folks. Firebirds are on their feet, looking for the inbounds. Inside, layup and good. With 1 second remaining, Wamser ties it up with a beautiful inbound play by the Carthage Firebirds. Fans are erupting at Tarble Arena. The first points of the evening for Grace Wamser with 1 second left.
How about that? Wamser taking a tough offensive penalty a few possessions ago. A defensive breakdown there by Elmhurst. They just simply left Wamser alone. Yeah. And it doesn't get more fortunate for that if you're the Firebirds. And now you just got to make sure you are not fouling here. With a foul will bring Elmhurst to the line. So for Coach Jones, instilling that into your team.
Don't be, now again, we've seen, Eric, Elmhurst be able to get that quick floater up, also long range shooting. So I either look for an inbounds pass in the paint for a floater or just to go for a broken
one. Sessions here.
Poked from behind, trying to throw it up. Opportunity was there. We are going to overtime. So if you were going to tune in at 4:15 for the men's game, hold tight, folks. We get 5 more minutes. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, overtime, 59-59. Firebirds and Blue Jays. It's the Battle of the Birds on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. $59 your score. A huge layup by Wamser on the inbound with 1 second remaining. Morrissey comes away with it.
Nothing could separate these teams in the first half. Nothing could separate them in the second half. That's why we got 5 more minutes to decide who's coming out on top.
Knight kicks out. Morrissey is open for 3. Boom! So hot in, so hot in here. Steal away by the UIC transfer, Nora Aram.
Wow, what a start to the overtime period here. Just what you're looking for. Now Morrissey taking it to the hole. There you have it.
Firebirds trying to take over.
Morrissey just, exerting the dominance here that she knows that she can be. And now inside, outside game.
Shot up a good. It's a situation you got to tip your hat so far to the Blue Jays. They took Morrissey out of the game as much as they could. Oh, huge offensive board. Flying in is Bakata yet again. Gets the contact, lays up at the right, no good. She's made that most of the evening. Comes away with a steal. Pass down low, beautiful layup. Blue Jays are not going quietly into this Kenosha night.
Yeah, if you're Carthage, no reason to rush there.
Yep.
Bakata, active hands, got it back for the Blue Jays.
Thistle wants 3. Can't find it, defensive board. Firebirds lead by 4. Quick start for Carthage. Blue Jays trying to answer back. Getting the contact and 1. Coming away with it again is Bakata, so aggressive, driving the lane.
Yeah, she has an impressive game. I mean, she's got a lot of different hesitation, different moves, and a frustrating player to stay in front of. And there, Aram just not quite able to get in front of her to pick up the charge. Can Bakata pick up the 3-point play?
Bounces around 6 times, but falls. 6 times might have been a stretch, but 16 points now for Bakata. She is averaging 9 a game. So what an afternoon for Bakata.
So just like that, Carthage jumps out 6 to start the period.
Yep.
But Elmhurst a quick 5 to respond.
1-point lead only for the Firebirds. Not only do they have the 6-point lead, had possession, threw it away. Got poked from behind for Bakata. With 3, with 2, somebody needs to take a shot. Knight lays it up with the right hand and good.
And it's a 2 guards here for Carthage. Knight and Morrissey leading the way. Knight with an impressive drive.
Morrissey going to get called for the foul against Bakata. Morrissey, her 3rd. But again, as we were stating a few minutes ago, Blue Jays had a beautiful game plan of come in, limit Morrissey, force Knight to take ugly shots. Knight, a cold shooting afternoon, evening, you could say, for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, 6 of 15.
Yeah, so not normal for Knight. 42 minutes leading the way for both teams. Bakata up and good. And force somebody else to beat you. And throughout the contest, it's been a plethora of other people. Now, still, they're going to get theirs. Knight with 20, Morrissey with 18. But look at the diversified attack offensively for the Blue Jays. They're used to it.
Yeah, that's kind of how they've been built this year. You don't know where the offense will come from. And anyone on the Blue Jays offense ready to step up, and recently it's been Bakata.
1-point lead for the Firebirds. They found themselves in this very situation at the conclusion of regulation. Looking for 3, no good. Knight coming away, a jump ball called. A very quick jump ball called.
Yeah.
Knight pulled it away. But it's been a consistent call all afternoon. They have been quick to call the jump ball. So I have no problem with that from my perspective.
Yeah, Knight has to be careful there too, kind of bounce the ball hard back to the ref. Don't want to pick up anything unnecessary with the reaction.
Passes out to the left, driving it with the right hand, picks up the dribble, floats with the right hand, another floater good. And the Blue Jays have taken a lead with 2:10 remaining. Here's that full court press again for the Blue Jays that they've been so successful with. Numbers favor. There's the bounce pass and kicking it out of play.
Good hustle there by Sessions. Came all the way back on the full court press and was able to take the ball away from Carthage there. That could have been an easy layup.
It's so surprising because Carthage is a full court press team in their own right. Morrissey no good, can't get her offensive board. Elmhurst with a chance to extend the lead from 1. But being a press team it's surprising how this version of the press by the Blue Jays is just giving Carthage all sorts of fits.
Yeah, picking it up full court pressure, and it's got Carthage a little out of rhythm.
Lays up with the right hand, no good. Foul going to be called on Wamser. Contact at the very end. Wamser now. 5th foul. She has fouled out. So a 3rd Firebird is fouled out of the game. Knable now checking in. Wamser, again, her highlight, the layup with 1 tick remaining in regulation. But shooting 2 now is going to be Sessions. Session has sat at 4 fouls for a long time in her own right. No good on the first. I mean, think about it. We talked for quite a while like Sessions. Okay, she's got to play it safe. She has 4 fouls, and, she's still in the contest. Firebird's going to have to dig deep. Both free throws missed. Knable comes away with the board jump ball. Again, quick on the jump ball call. It's been consistent all afternoon.
Yeah, that's the only thing Sessions hasn't done right tonight is she's gotten to attack the basket but not been able to convert on the free throws. I believe she's now 4 of 11 from the line, and her team needed a couple of those.
Knight floats it with the right hand, no good. Knable touches it out of play. They're actually going to say that was last touched by a Blue Jay.
Yeah, maybe just got the fingertip of McQuay there. So it's the slightest graze, but Carthage will take it.
Float up to Knable, up to Thistle. Morrissey is wide open. Can she find 3? Airballs it. Offensive board by Knight. Jump ball going to be called. Possession error going the way of Elmhurst. 1:11 remaining. Carthage doesn't have to foul. Oh, boy.
Knight's 3rd offensive rebound.
What a game.
Able to get the jump ball, but yeah, it flips the arrow back their way, and there's as many jump balls as there have been this game. Definitely want that arrow pointing in favor of the Firebirds.
Nakata hands off to the top as Sessions holding on. Driving in, layup with the right. Oh, what a beautiful play with the shot clock expiring. The Firebirds found a way to tie it at the end of regulation. They are down by 3. Knight's been cold all night from three-point land. Can they find her open for a 3, and can she deliver? Or will somebody else? Morrissey has had her fair share of 3 opportunities. Near side, Knable. Knable delivers! Oh, the unsung hero!
What a shot by Knable. The confidence to step up and knock it down for your team.
Kicks out for 3, Bakata to take the lead. Ladies and gentlemen, double overtime, Knable. I don't know what else to say besides we'll take a timeout. Double overtime, 70 apiece. We'll be right back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Wow, that's what I was just looking for. 100%. Oh my God. What a game.
That was weird. That's what the offense led to.
Yeah.
Now I'm regretting not going to the bathroom.
Oh, me too. I'm like, oh. There's the whistle. CNC Music Factory blaring from the speakers at Tarble Arena. For Eric, I'm Pete. Tied at 70, double overtime. Knebel, the three-point assassin.
Exactly. You wouldn't know it, but on the season, she's shooting 100% from three-point land, but that is only her third attempt, but she's made all three of them. And no bigger shot to go down for the Firebirds than that one. Unfortunately, Carthage turned the ball over on their opening possession.
Diving in was Nora Ram, or just streaking in. She comes away with it, forces the jump ball. Again, they've been quick on the jump ball all day, so I don't have an issue with that. Possession arrow now favors the Firebirds. Can they force another turnover?
This is a tough guard here for Knebel.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the trend has been Carthage takes the lead, Elmhurst answers back, takes the lead with moments to spare, and then Carthage finds a way to tie it. This'll almost loses possession, picks it up at the end, bounces it on the ground, and there's the jump ball, and that's going to go Carthage's way.
Yeah, the refs almost, it feels like they have to call that quick jump ball now just to stay consistent.
Yeah.
That ball seemed to be bouncing around, but yeah.
Sure is. This'll, I feel she didn't have possession the entire quarter court. Looking for the inbound, gets it to Knebel, and I believe a foul going to be called. And it is. So a rare foul, that's going to be on McQuay.
Yeah, I was trying to fight for position
Yeah.
with Knebel there.
I mean, think about it. We're in double overtime and still only 3 fouls against the Blue Jays in the entire fourth and 2 overtimes. Offensive foul going to be called on Knight. Wow, that's a tough call. A lot of movement, a lot of feet shuffling.
Yeah, Elmhurst able to step in the lane there. And, if your coach Pruitt for the Blue Jays, that's exactly what you need out of your team.
Morrissey comes away with a block. Left hand hook, no good. Morrissey with the board.
Good job not fouling there.
Morrissey pushes the pace, kicks out to the right. Aram looks for 3, can't find it, pinballs around. Morrissey, right hand and good.
Right place, right time.
Didn't even have to move. Oh, beautiful Euro step in, layup with the left hand. Oh my goodness, Bakata. So good, driving the lane.
Yeah, I like her game a lot.
Pass
She's
to
tough.
Thistle. Thistle gonna get fouled. She'll head to the line for 2. Cusack gonna get called for the foul, her 3rd foul.
Yeah, Thistle sticking with the aggressive drive to the basket, and that's been paying off for her, getting a couple layups and now picking up the foul.
Thistle no good off the back. I mean, think about Knebel's 3-point shot again. Not to dwell on it too long. She was only in the contest because Ebeling, Wamser, and Spear had all fouled out because Coach Jones was going with a smaller lineup to finish things up, and all of a sudden,
You wonder if Elmhurst just didn't even pay attention to her out there.
yeah. Driving again, losing it on the ground. Still the Blue Jays and the the pickup and the shot. Sloppy possession for the Blue Jays. Can Knight find a 3? No good. Front iron. She tries to throw it back in to no avail. Elmhurst has the 1-point lead. Point of it all is, on the last offensive possession for the Blue Jays, it was so sloppy, but Carthage just flat-footed, couldn't get a hand up, couldn't get it away.
Yeah, they were almost picking the ball up a couple times there and just kind of kept bouncing around, and Carthage couldn't really, it was kind of helter-skelter there, and Elmhurst able to pick it up and get that bucket.
Blue Jays more than content to use as much of this shot clock as possible. These players got to be running on fumes right now. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Knight comes away with it, and they're going to call a foul on Klaczynski. A lot of times that would have been a jump ball, but Knight got possession, started to turn away, and Klaczynski, you could tell, pulled her arm back. And that's the 5th foul. Knight to the line for 2. Chance to tie and take the lead.
Yeah, a big opportunity for Carthage. Kind of an aggressive play there for Klaczynski, but backfired on her.
Knight up and good. Knight makes them both. 22 points, and I like to say quiet points, because Knight 6 for 16 from the field and still has found her way to 22 points. Driving in with the right hand, pops up, hook with the right hand, no good. Who are they calling the foul on? They might be calling it on Knight. They are going to call it on Lauren Knight, her 4th, and with 5 fouls, that is going to go and cause Klaczynski to go to the line for 2. Beautiful shot. Tough call. I mean, both teams have been scrappy all day. They've usually waited to blow the whistle until somebody had possession of it. Quick trigger there. Makes them both. Again, intrigued to see how deep Coach Jones goes on this bench right now. No subs so far in this double overtime. Thistle gets the inbound.
If you're Carthage, what's been keeping you in this game is attacking and getting to the free throw line.
Aram tonight. Knable calls for it. Aram not known for shooting the 3. Thistle to Aram. Kicks it out near side. Thistle long range 2. Back iron, no good. That's going to stay with the Firebirds.
Morrissey doing just enough to make that rebound uncomfortable, and Elmhurst knocks out of bounds, and they'll get another try at it here with 140.
Looking for the inbounds. And 5 seconds called. Aram nowhere to go, 1:40. Stop me if you heard it, but again, Elmhurst leads by 1 with time dwindling down on the Firebirds. Now, I don't want to say anything close to moral victory, but my goodness, whoever loses this game, you want to talk about both teams and their resolve. What else to be even said at this point?
I mean, it's just been an even matchup all game.
Offensive foul called. Aram gets absolutely shoulder tackled. 4th personal foul.
That was on
that, I believe, Klaczynski. Yeah, so her 4th personal. The 2nd Blue Jay now in foul trouble, and it took double overtime to get to that point. Knight pulls up. She looks for Thistle. Can Thistle find the 3? She can!
Thistle's been waiting for that shot to go down all night.
Her first 3-pointer. Floater with the right hand, no good. Mishandle. Elmhurst ties it up. If Carthage would have came away with that board, oh boy.
And Elmhurst is not proven they're not going anywhere.
Aram thought about getting it to Thistle. Morrissey drives in. Morrissey back up to Aram. Stepping on the line, it's going back Carthage's way. Carthage has 10 seconds to get the shot off.
That could have been a disaster because
yeah,
McQuay was off to the races there, and that would have been an easy 2. Fortunately, ball was knocked out of bounds. Looks like Coach Jones is going to take a timeout here.
Nice timeout by Coach Jones. We'll stay here tied at 78. Again, we had a situation. It was 78-76. Carthage, it's a story for both teams today. Carthage almost came away with possession. If they wouldn't have necessarily caused Elmhurst to foul, but they would have been able to take much of the game clock away, still had a chance to take, if not a 4, but more point lead. Elmhurst fights it away, gets the 2-pointer, a critical 12 seconds by Carthage. If you're Coach Jones, again, don't forget, less than 60 seconds ago in game time, you had an inbound violation because you couldn't get it in within 5 seconds.
Yeah, that was something that Elmhurst corrected after that was what cost them the layup in regulation. So, yeah, Carthage, you think about missed opportunities, things like that, getting the ball in bounds. Hopefully that doesn't come back and bite this team. But they're going to have 12 seconds to work with here and see what Coach Jones drew up on the timeout.
Knight gets the ball. Screen, Knable, Knight, layup with the right hand and good. 2-point lead for the Firebirds.
Knable, the monster screen there to free up Knight. Not just a 3-point sharpshooter, Knable.
Morrissey on the defense, no good. Still on the ground. Pop-up shot, no good. Fight for it. Floater with the right hand, rolls up and good. 10 seconds remaining. Kristen Bacata. I don't want to jinx it, but we're 10 seconds away from a triple overtime.
I mean, I don't know how many times I've been in a triple overtime game before.
Are you not entertained?
Man, yeah, Elmhurst just scrapping it around down low, and that pesky Bukata able to come up with it, and nobody was there to get a hand in her face and puts it back. We got 10 seconds here.
Well, and the fact that Bukata's done so well, she hasn't had a clean shot since she took a Steph Curry range 3 at the beginning of the game. Everything else has been contact, driving, Euro step, layup, floater, prayer shots. But you could tell it's something she's good at. It's something she practices at to be able to have this type of situation.
Yeah, she's got a kind of old school game of just, not a ton of, won't blow by you necessarily, but the hesitation, the crossovers, the footwork, that's how she makes it work for her. And, it's up to 22 points today.
Not to go really, really old school, she's giving me vibes of like an Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
Just, a scrappy all-around speed, quickness.
Able to find her shot.
Morrissey gets the inbound.
Fake handoff there.
Drives in. Morrissey, left hand. Offensive foul called. Layup, no good. Getting the charge is Bacata.
I would like to see where this...
Full timeout called.
Am I missing something on the restricted area? That looked like, inside of that arc in the lane. It does not look like Bukata was outside of that, so it's hard for Morrissey to pick up that charge when, her defender was almost standing underneath the hoop there.
I don't know if we have the replay of that, but here's what I'll say. It's hard if you are Morrissey and you are at point-blank range.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, that's the after effect. Here we go on the replay. Let's see if we get it here. Here it comes. Yeah, both feet are clearly in the line. I could see if your toes were on the line. You know what I mean? Like, give a little bit of wiggle room. But she was literally laying it up with both hands. She had gotten so close. And Bacata had slid over, so her body was still moving on contact. Here we go. the conclusion of the game. Blocked from behind, Knable passes ahead. Triple overtime. Re-rack it. Let's go again.
Yeah, when we said there was a doubleheader this afternoon, we didn't mean it would be 80 minutes from one game.
Folks, you can't go home. You got to finish this one with us. 80-80. We'll be back. Triple overtime. Firebird Broadcasting Network. Time for a tip-off. Morrissey knocks it down. Knable trying to fight for it this time. Coming away with it is McQuay. Foul trouble, Morrissey, 4. If you're looking at the Firebird side of things. As for Elmhurst, Sessions, 4. Oh, nice shot, a pop-up from right outside the elbow. Is Klaczynski as she sits at 4 herself. Trying to pass it in, that trap again catches Thistle.
Got caught in no man's land there.
Again, right now Carthage, this very staunch defense by the Blue Jays. You know, it's a situation where if Carthage goes too fast, they're stuck. If they don't go fast enough, they're stuck.
Yeah, that's...
Driving in the air, Knable comes away with the steal.
Just threw up a prayer there, hoping to get bailed out for a foul. But, yeah, Carthage, I mean, they get trapped, they get in trouble, and, you know, this is just caught going too fast. Here they slow it down.
Knight up and under. Beautiful play by Knight.
That was smooth. Yeah, it's been, you know, it seemed like each of these overtime periods, just when you think a team has been kind of extending the lead, getting ahead, their opponent has not let them get much further than 3-4 points.
Thistle thought about 3, decided not to. Morrissey drives in. Morrissey, potential for a layup. Up, rolls around, no good, still in the air. Morrissey comes away with it, shot up, and it's going to get called for the foul. Oh, that was all Morrissey. Followed her own shot, ripped it out of the hands, and fouling out is number 24, Anna Klaczynski. And not to say there's any sort of break for the Firebirds, but this could be it.
Yeah, she leaves this game this afternoon with 25 points, and she was a huge reason that in regulation her team was sticking with the Firebirds. And will that make a difference here for the Blue Jays?
Well, having to step up right now is going to be MC Brown.
Seems like most of their possessions for Elmhurst is Morrissey, 2 clutch free throws.
Brown does have 24 minutes logged in the game. Not much to speak for, but she does have 4 rebounds. I mean, that's something to be said right there, I guess you could say. Yeah, also in the game, I'm sorry, Lindsay Novak, I wanted to say, also in the game as well right now. You got to imagine it's going to be Sessions and it's going to be Bacata. Offensive foul called. Is that going to be against Sessions?
It's on McQuay. That's the second offensive foul that she has picked up in a similar moving screen situation. So is that, you know, Just in a game that's been this tight, which opportunity is going to be the one that leads to the game slipping away, or the one that you take advantage of and pull ahead? Carthage needs to build. Good possession here.
Knable thought about the 2. Back to Knight, driving in. Can Knight find the 3? Rolls around, no good. Bounces around, picking up the pieces, still tied at 84 apiece. Ooh, almost a carry called on McQuay. They're going to say contact, I believe. Up with the left hand. Fancy move by Sessions.
Yeah, Sessions popped and hit that shot earlier, and Knable off her feet on the pump fake, and that's all Sessions needed to get to the space for the shot.
You feel that if Knight makes one of these 3s, it could just ignite this Firebird squad. Knable bounce passes the Thistle. She pump fakes, bounces it into Morrissey. Looked like there was contact, no foul called. Blue Jays 2-point lead with 1:55 in triple overtime.
And they'll look to take their time here. You know, they got Sessions up at the top of the key there, kind of running everything through her. She'll have teammates cut, and if she gets the basketball there.
Left hand hook shot, banks it in. Biggest lead of overtime, any overtime for the Blue Jays. Flipped up to Knable, almost take it away.
Very fortunate.
Trying to draw the foul.
Sessions did a good job there, just standing straight up, and Knight ran out of real estate to wrap that ball around.
Aram was wide open for 3. Knight decided to take it herself. Morrissey pulls up for the 2, gets her own offensive board. And instead of an and 1 opportunity, foul's going to be on the ground. Coach Pruitt irate. But nonetheless, Morrissey's going to go to the line for 2. The intestinal fortitude of both of these squads right now.
Yeah, nothing has come easy for Morrissey today. And just staying active down there, getting offensive rebounds. It's kept her game and this team afloat. She continued to knock these free throws down.
Gets them both. Clutch shooting. Now with 1:11 left, Firebirds need a stop to then allow themselves plenty of time to tie it.
Yeah, if you're Elmhurst here, no reason to rush. You've been able to get some good looks, being patient, getting the ball through Sessions and McQuay. A nice drive last possession.
The fact that Sessions, that might be a travel, and it is. I was just going to say, the fact that Sessions has sat with 4 fouls since regulation and is now in triple overtime is something to behold. Timeout going to be called. Carthage a chance to tie or take the lead. Again, if you're just joining us now, expecting to see the men's game, which was supposed to start 60 seconds ago, welcome to triple overtime of Elmhurst and Carthage on the women's side of things. To do a quick recap for those of you just joining us, first off, welcome. Second off, with 1 second left in regulation, you had Wamser make her first basket of the day, an inbound layup to send it to overtime. Knable makes her third three-pointer of the year on her 3rd attempt to send that to double overtime. You have a block by Knable to end double overtime. And now here we sit, Carthage down by 2, 48 ticks. 18.5-second differential between the game clock and shot clock in triple overtime.
And Knable's the one that just forced that last turnover by Sessions. Great defense, staying straight up. Sessions nowhere to go and took too many steps, so.
Yeah.
If you're Carthage, most of their successes seem to crash the glass, driving to the hoop with Morrissey.
Yep.
And, if they're not been connecting on those shots, they've still been getting
Yeah.
the second chance opportunities.
And again, Lauren Knight, 8 for 19, but 2 for 10 from 3. A three-pointer would absolutely blow the roof off of this place, but if you could get an old-fashioned three-point play, there's that Morrissey drive, there's the slide. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Knight thought about it, picks it up. Aram. Knight, open for 3. Hits the front rim, no good, bounces around. And they're going to have to foul as Morrissey collects her 5th foul. And that's going to be against Bakata. The shot was there, Eric. That open 3 for Knight was there. Not many other people you want taking that shot. Morrissey fouls out.
No, that was the look you wanted. And again, Carthage almost able to come up with that offensive rebound. Unfortunately, not able to. And Morrissey's got to make the sacrifice for the team and take her final foul.
Now, 27 ticks left. We're not out of it yet.
No, I'm not.
And by the general we, I mean you and me and anybody. Rattles around and good. Bakata, 3 for 3, make that 4 for 4 from the free throw line. A crucial free throw. This is when, nothing but the bottom of the net. 2-possession game for the Firebirds. Don't need to get all of them back here.
Got to go quick. Got to go.
15 seconds, they need to get a shot off. Thistle for 3. No good off the back iron. Rattles around, stepping on the line is Elmhurst. 6 seconds left. Carthage took way too much time on that possession, but again, when you have a rotation of teammates in that likely have never been on the court at the same time, it's tough. Who's setting the screen? Who's going to take the shot? Thistle had the shot. 4-point lead for Elmhurst.
Yeah, you would guess with as many players that have fouled out for Carthage, this has got to be a 5 that doesn't see a whole lot of time together. And so you could see Knight on that possession pointing to Thistle, trying to direct traffic where to go. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the basket, but still got some time left to here. The way this game's been going, I would not put anything past a 4-point play. Who knows?
Well, yeah, here's a situation as well. No timeouts left for Carthage, 1 left for Elmhurst. You get a quick inbound, you get the point, you foul, you make it a 2 to 3 point game again. You have to score immediately, foul immediately, but 6 seconds is still enough time to find something. You have Lauren Knight still in the game, only 3 fouls, so she hasn't been in foul trouble. But again, what the Blue Jays have shown, being able to stay cool, calm, and collected. Think about in this aspect. If you're Elmhurst, 2 times you relinquish the lead with moments, with the shot, with the game clock expiring.
Yeah.
And still are like, nope, we could still win this. We could still win this.
Yeah, they thought they had it twice. They had the
inbound
win.
to Thistle. Lays it up. 4 seconds remaining. They got to foul. They got to foul immediately. There's the foul. 2 seconds remaining. A lot of time went off the clock. Able to turn and burn was Cusack. Cusack goes to the line. Cusack 1 for 2 from the free throw line on the afternoon. She is a .556 free throw shooter on the season. So even if she goes 1 for 2, there's still a prayer. Misses the first.
Does Carthage have any timeouts?
I do not believe they do.
They will not be able to advance the ball, so it's get and go here.
You're almost, if you're the Blue Jays, do you purposefully miss? Makes the second. Knable tonight with 2 from the hip. Oh! Hits the back of the rim. And the Blue Jays in a absolute thrilling triple overtime victory. Lauren Knight hits the back rim, shooting from the hip as time expires. I wouldn't have doubted if that one went in. But what a battle for both teams. We're still going to talk to Coach Jones in just a few moments. We're going to take a timeout. 91-88, triple overtime. Don't go anywhere. The postgame show coming your way shortly on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome into the post-game show here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network alongside Coach Jones. Coach, intestinal fortitude, resolve. I mean, throw all of them out the window. Triple overtime. That was a sight to behold. And the way I guess you could say, the players that aren't used to being the key offensive contributors contributed. Knable with a 3 to send it to double overtime. Wamser to get the layup underneath the basket. I mean, it was a team effort today. Crushing loss, but at the same time, my goodness, that had to feel good that they kept fighting.
Yeah, we never gave up, even when, they would score first in an overtime. So I think there's a lot to be said for that. But just, I think the way we approached the game today, I think we just thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Even though we kept telling them, like, they're dangerous, they rebound really hard, they shoot a lot of threes. When the threes go in, things go well. And we couldn't slow them down off the dribble in those overtimes. We were talking about gap help. We were talking about, working together. It's not just one person that's guarding the person driving to the basket. It's all 5 people together. And we just couldn't get it done at the end.
Yeah, Eric Elger here. Looks like you turned to the bench early in the first half. What are some contributions you like to see off that bench that you saw today?
Yeah, I think it was kind of a shock to the system because, they came out, they made a couple shots. We weren't making shots, and we just kept saying, stay the course. Like, it's okay. We'll work through it. And so we were pushing everybody to just rise up to the challenge. It just stinks that in the end we couldn't pull it out.
On a loss like that, what is something that you can teach your team and take going forward? Like you said that you warned your team about how dangerous this team can be. What's your message going forward after a game like this?
Yeah, well, I just said in the huddle, there's still a lot of season left, and we got to move on from it. It stings a lot. But I think the big thing, is to not put ourselves in a position where calls down the stretch make a really big difference. Because there were some calls that made some really big differences, but we put ourselves in that situation, and we shouldn't have been there. And so it's just having that discipline throughout the entire game, not just the fight at the end. It's a fight for, the first half, the first quarter, the second quarter, not just the last 20 minutes.
Looking now ahead, you have Carroll on Wednesday. What's these next few days going to look like? Any extra rest because of the triple overtime, or hey, this is the grind? It is what it is.
This is the grind.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Okay.
We got to get going this time of year. We have a lot of work to do to be able to be in the tournament. We have to take care of business. We're still in control of our own fate. We can't get to the point that somebody else controls that by a win or loss by another team. There's still a lot that can happen. There's 6 games left. We have to take care of business.
Awesome. Well, Coach, it was a tough one, but again, the resolve, it showed that you got this ship going in the right direction, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Again, that was Coach Jones in the post-game show here on the Firebird Broadcast Network. Eric, before we let everybody go, final thoughts.
Yeah, it was just a game that seemed like Carthage just couldn't get out of the starting blocks, couldn't get out of first gear, and they were kind of playing catch-up all game. And as Coach Jones mentioned, they needed to have that sustained effort all 40 minutes of regulation.
Yeah.
And some of those possessions, she said, really came back and bit them in the end.
Yeah. Final again in Kenosha for game number 1 of the doubleheader. Elmhurst 91, Carthage 88, triple overtime. We're going to take a little time out. When we come back, we'll be back in about 15 minutes for the pregame show right here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network for the men's game, battle of 2 versus 3. For Laura, Morgan, Ainsley, Sophia, Ryder, for Mike and John, our producers. This program has been a presentation of Firebird Broadcast Productions in Carthage College, copyright 2024. We'll be right back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network.